Hey guys, what's going on? It's your brother Christian, aka Nema, and welcome back to another Cooking with Nema video. But today we got ourselves a little bit of a doozy episode. We're going to be doing a hot dog slash glizzy video. I know, right? Crazy we're doing this. The reason why we're doing this is because the more that I cook and the more that I try more foods, I kind of have to revisit the foods that I really do not like. And if you know anything about me, and if you haven't watched a California food vlog video, you know that I do not like glizzies. I do not like them. It's just something that I have eaten a lot of when I was growing up, and now that I'm an adult, I'm like, you know what? It's time to not do that anymore, you know? Let's try some new stuff. I'm not saying hot dogs are bad. I'm just saying for me, I just don't like the taste of them. So in order to do a fair shot for this video, I need to find some benchmarks. So I gave myself two places that I have to benchmark in a sense. One place is globally famous. You guys know them. Maybe you haven't been, but you definitely know them. And then we're gonna try a local favorite here in the beautiful city of Richmond. So buckle up. We got ourselves a doozy of an episode. It's glizzy time. I don't know what else to segue into with this. All right, so let's start with our first benchmark, and that is going to be the Costco hot dog. Now, you guys know what Costco is. Do I need to explain what it is? I'll explain it. Costco is a ginormous supermarket where you can get bulk foods for you and your family, and it's a beautiful place.
I'll reset it. Okay.
People gotta know.
Hot dog combos. Do you want anything else? No? I didn't spread out the relish or anything, so it's not any better.
Now I see why it's $1.50. It's bringing it tax you. All right, we're trying the Costco glizzy. Okay, good. Here we go.
$5.54.
I didn't get a lot of toppings. It's a hot dog. What? I mean, I'm not tasting anything like crazy. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, what do you guys think?
The Coke products are better than the Pepsi products.
They all taste the same, not gonna lie.
You've been eating Costco hot dogs your entire life. This is not our first rodeo.
I'm not a huge fan of them though. I'm a chicken bake person.
No, I'm a hot dog girl.
Chicken bake, let's go.
I'm a hot dog girl.
After the glizzy attacked me, fortunately, this was a mid-tier hot dog. It's not terrible, as in like you shouldn't buy it or you shouldn't get it, but it is, in my opinion, good enough to continue on with our benchmarking series. It's a mid-tier hot dog. It's not crazy. For $1.50, you get an all beef hot dog, which to me, $1.50 for a hot dog is crazy. Like, is this like the 80s or the 70s or something where like you can get things like this cheap and it's healthy, quote unquote? I find that interesting. Anyway, the hot dog, I give it a 5 out of 10. Again, it's average. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's average. And you get some nice condiments. The spreads, of course, for the hot dogs was a little rough, but I think it's more than reasonable for the setup. And you know what? For $1.50, it's good, but I think the chicken bake is better. So anyway, all right, so let's go to our next place. That is going to be City Dogs. So this is a place that I didn't even know about really until more recently. This is a famous place here in Richmond to get affordable hot dogs, but also to get some hot dogs that are more gourmet, more cooked to order, you know, more fancier hot dogs. So this is a great place to benchmark with our hot dog that we're gonna be planning to make.
ASMR, we're at City Dogs.
Cheese fries and a Coney Island dog. You can order the cheese fries.
I'm ordering the cheese fries, the chili cheese fries.
Do you want chili?
No,
Then just do cheese fries.
a side or a basket? A side.
All right, so we're trying to now try to keep it quiet a little bit. Trying not to get it all over myself. All right, we're going in. So first thought on that, this is a really snappy hot dog, so you can tell the quality is there. Oh yeah, the chili's good too as well. It has a little bit of spice to it.
You can tell it's like a refrigerator hot dog. I don't know how to explain it. I like a Costco hot dog better, but I think it's because the Costco bun tastes a lot better. But yeah, the chili's pretty good though.
All right, I'm trying the chili fries. I keep saying chili fries, cheese fries. All right, don't apple tea. Tastes like normal cheese fries. Cheese bowl, 0 out of 10. It's all right.
So this was way better than Costco by a million miles, but something that was interesting with this hot dog is it was way more snappier. Like when I took a bite of the actual hot dog, like it had some like snap back. It had some recoil to it, if that makes sense. So a little interesting with that. But other than that, the flavors of the actual hot dog, again, not bad at all. Way better than the Costco one. But I know I could do potentially better with some of the flavoring of it. Like for example, the chili was a little, I felt like there could be more chunks. I felt like they kind of like blended that down way too much and it wasn't as saucy and it didn't have as much chunks as I was looking for in a chili. And it didn't really have a nice little kick to it too. So I need to enhance that with my version of the hot dog. So with Cooking with Nema, we do things over the top here. So let's get into cooking our official hot dog. All right, so we're gonna start off with our chili. This is going to be an important part of Cooking with Nema glizzy. So in order to do that, we need to ground some ground beef. Now we're not just using any kind of ground beef, we're actually using a more leaner variant of the ground beef because we don't wanna allow that oil to soak into the ground beef, causing our chili to be greasy and oily. I know you've probably had greasy chili and it's not really that tasty, especially with the other spices and ingredients that we're adding into this. So, of course, we need to find a leaner version of ground beef and we're gonna brown it on a pan, a skillet, for a little bit. And a little bit of a fun fact, a little bit of a learning lesson for me that I learned with making chili is we're gonna make the ground beef chunks as small as possible. And I know some people may think you can just do it with a fork or a spatula or whatever tool, but it actually comes down to how you cook it and also if you use a special tool called a potato masher. Let me tell you, using the potato masher made my chili so much better when it comes to the consistency and also make sure that the chunks are small enough where it's not just one giant like lard of ground beef that's dry and doesn't have any flavor. Because remember, we're cooking this on the stove with no seasonings or no flavors at all. And the flavors are actually going to be injected with the slow cooking process. So after cooking this for a few minutes, what we're gonna do next is we're going to drain it. So I just drain it with a standard drainer and we can discard the oil or we can use it for something else. It's up to you. And we're gonna put the ground beef into our slow cooker. So from there, from the slow cooker, we're gonna add in our ingredients, which are the following. And after that, after we put all these ingredients, we're gonna put the slow cooker on to high for 2 hours. This chili is cooking pretty fast, but at the same time, we have to make sure that the chili stays in that kind of consistency of being thick, but also not too thin and not being too thick where it's just a sauce. You want to keep the consistency where the juices are present, but it's not as in just liquid. So keep that in mind. So now our chili is done. We're gonna put it to the side. Now this is the Cooking with Nema kind of twist here, and I was a little curious myself because I never tried this before myself. Instead of just using a standard hot dog and calling it a day, I actually did a bacon wrapped hot dog. In ease, if I can recommend anything, you want to definitely use toothpicks to hold the bacon, and you want to use proper toothpicks, not the ones that I did, and I'll show you guys why later. But you want to have toothpicks to hold it because there's nothing holding the bacon to the hot dog. Even if you wrap it tight, it's actually going to fall apart because there's just not enough surface area for that bacon to cling to, and the ends will just unravel itself. So we use some toothpicks. We put one on each end, and I cooked 2 hot dogs, so we have 4 toothpicks in total. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna use a cast iron skillet actually to make our lives a little bit easier going forward. So cast iron, and we're gonna heat it up to around medium heat-ish. And what we're gonna do is after the pan is heated up, the next thing that we're going to do is we're gonna put a couple teaspoons of water in the middle, and we're going to put the hot dogs on top of that water and put a lid on top of it. The reasoning is because we want to actually steam our hot dogs before we sear them. Searing it alone is not enough. It's not gonna cook the hot dog through to the point where we can actually have it edible and make it safe. I would recommend putting all the water you need initially in the middle of the pan, and then just for a few minutes, I would say 2 to 3 minutes, let the hot dog just cook in that steam. It's not gonna cook the bacon necessarily. I did make the mistake of adding more water into that kind of lid kind of setup, and it did start cooking some of the fat, kind of blotching up the fat from the bacon. But you just want to put enough water in it so it steams it and you don't have to touch it. You don't have to worry about it burning or anything because the water should be in the middle of the lid and the hot dog should be placed on top of it. So shouldn't cause any burning to the point where it just sticks to the pan and, oh no, you gotta, you have to worry about now your hot dog being burnt. Once it's steamed, just let it kind of cook through a little bit so there's no more water on it, and then just sear it essentially. If you're concerned about timing and you think you're gonna burn it, keep rotating it. I don't think there's a problem when you keep rotating the actual hot dog with bacon, because if you want to cook it evenly on all sides, this is when having the proper toothpicks matter the most. All right, so after our hot dogs are done searing, it should be a relatively golden brown, maybe darker, maybe some dark spots, because the cooking is not always going to be even on everything, and it should be pretty much done. At that point, what I did next was I actually added a little bit of a honey and brown sugar glaze to the actual hot dog. You technically could do this before when you're actually searing it, just to make life a little bit easier. But for me, I didn't want to do that because I already cooked the hot dogs already. And also too, you're not going to taste the little amount that I put on it that's that aggressive. So I like coating afterwards, letting it cook and its residual heat is more than enough. So yeah, that's pretty much cooking. Let's get to the beauty shots now. So it is almost 2 o'clock in the morning. Let's say the dedication is there. I'm gonna review the hot dogs that we made, the Cooking with Nema edition. So I'm excited for the glizzy here. So let's see what we got going on here. I'm excited about the bacon. So here we go. Let me get picked out. Whoa. There's a lot going on with this. It's a little dangerous. There's a lot of flavors going on. First off, there is a really tangy flavor, obviously because of the mustard on top. But also, you get a little bit of the kick, a little spice with the chili. And then there's the sweetness of the bacon because of the honey, brown sugar kind of combination. So that is crazy. I actually like this a lot. All right, so yeah, like I mentioned, the hot dogs are really good actually. Is it the best hot dog recipe? Of course not, but for me, I like the combination of it. I like the mustard and how tangy it was. I also like the sourness to it as well, a little bit of a spice, but also the chili. The chili had some extra components of spice, and it was a little bit more simpler and not as complex as a chili that I would normally make. This chili was more in a sense of it needs to be more lighter because it's going on a hot dog with bacon, and it has brioche bun with butter and thyme. So combination of the sweetness from the glaze to the savouriness of the hot dog, the bacon, to even the sourness and the a little bit of the tang a little bit from the mustard and even from the chili too as well is more than good enough. I think we did a pretty good job. So I know this is a little bit of a interesting situation when it comes to hot dogs, and I know we have our opinions on it, but my question to you is, what would you do differently to make this work? I know there's a few things already people are going to say, but personally, I'm curious to see what you guys would do differently. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in the next video. It's exciting, and yeah, I'll see you guys. Peace out.